Okay. Mm. Yep. We are live.
Cecil, are we live? What do you think? What does Cecil have to say about it? You're awfully quiet today. You enjoy it when I yell at Bob. Hmm? Bob, no, you're not climbing under the chairs again. Get back over here. Nope, get over here. Come on. Stay over here. Middle past. Yeah, you just have to chew on the legs of the chair, don't you? That's what it's all about today. You're watching me to make sure I preen you right there, kid. Hey. You little pest.
Hmm.
Such an innocent looking face. Yeah. Mm.
Couldn't be any cuter. Bubbly Bob.
Cecil's pretty cute. He is pretty cute. Aren't you, Cecil? Sugar.
So our first chatter has arrived. It's Michelle Thompson. So hello and welcome.
Hi, Michelle. Yeah, don't do it, Bob. I'm trying to pet her beak, and if you run over and try to get to the chair again. Bob? Bob, be good. I'll have to tickle you. No, get over here. You're a pest today. Cute, but a pest. No, you're not going to start chewing on the chair. Sorry. Sorry, Sugar. Bob? Sugar's going to get you back for this. There's nothing there. I don't know what you're chewing on, but...
So Bob seems to be the only active one. All the others look kind of relaxed, sitting around.
Yeah,
Cecil?
Cecil's preening.
And Cecil. Then let's see who else is there.
Jazz is up there sleeping. Top of the totem pole over there.
Lucy and Salamander. Wait, and who is sitting on that cage back there? Is that Snowball and KK?
Yep.
Okay.
Nope, I'm sorry. That's Pippa and KK.
Pippa and KK. Okay, that's new.
Someone forgot to bring Snowball in. Oh, he's been.
Oh no! Not
Well,
the snowbird.
Lately, don't do it, Bob. No. I don't think he'll come out when he's on the bottom of the cage. He usually won't. Come on. You've been tearing up. I know you're busy tearing up paper. Come on. Come with me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Well, come on. No, he won't. He gets his toenails wrapped around on the bottom of the cage and he can't take them out. I'll have to try later. It's been taking me about 5 minutes to coax him out of his cage. There's nothing unusual about that with him, though. Babaloo, I said not to do that. Not that you listen to me. Oh, you laughing at me now, too?
The evil Bob laugh. Oh, my.
That was Cecil. Sounded like a Bob laugh. Bob.
That was a Cecil. Oh, my. He can do Bob's evil laugh now. You guys.
Which one of you pooped on me here?
Oh, my.
You can come up, Bob. I'll give you the elevator here. I don't know who got me. Come on, Luce. Come on, Lucy. Come on. No, past. Oh, baby. You're too cute. You're too cute. Good boy, Bob. I'll give you some more room. There, you can get more room to play. There you go. Elevator down. I'll try. I'll try to pet you. You could, at this rate, my hand could fall asleep before you get over there. Come on, sugar. A little closer. It's a lot of perch there yet. Come on. Doug. Hello. I can't reach you. All right. I can't reposition myself to get to your face. You have to come out a little farther. Perch is not going to fall off or something. Yeah, if you believe me, right? See, so did you want down? All right, you want off?
So GTH042 joined us, and Lisa Banerjee and Falconsu. Hello and welcome.
Hello, everybody. Jazz is doing fine. She's sleeping now. She had a blood feather yesterday, so. You got one eye open over there, kid. Oh, you found your ball. Okay. But did you break the ball inside already? Yeah, you did. Silly boy. Yeah, I noticed some blood on the bottom of her cage after I was sitting in here with Lorelei. Because Lorelai's she needs a little time by herself. Anybody else is in the room, she causes trouble. So I went out there and I saw the blood, and then I found the blood feather on her left side, primary feather, actually second primary over. It was coming in, but she'd broken it off somehow. So break out the hemostat. Silly girl. Hey, Jazz. Jazzy Jazzbird. Yep. Mander. Mander, what are you doing over there, Salamander, huh? Yeah, well, yeah, she chases you a little bit, but she's asleep, and the other ones are away from you, so what's your problem?
Well, who's been chasing Salamander?
Eleanor.
Pip, hi, Eleanor. Pip
Hello.
was doing a little chasing.
Oh, Pepper, that's not nice.
Okay, Bob looks like he's behaving himself. If you would come a little closer. I can't reach any farther. You have to come closer. She's looking at me like I can't do it. I can't. I got Bob sitting right here. Made room for him, so.
So GTH has a question about blood feathers. So how long it takes to stop the bleeding after the feather was removed?
It doesn't take any time at all unless you have a damaged follicle, which is rare. I used to get those with peaches, but no, if you clamp onto the feather right above where it attaches at the end of that little, you can see where there's it looks like a thin paper sheath over the follicle or over the feather, and it attaches to the follicle. So you have to get just above that. You lock the hemostats on and just gently pull until it comes out. And then it will automatically stop the blood flow itself. There's a little lock in there that locks the blood flow.
But it's only activated when the feather is out.
Right. And you don't want to pull too fast because you might damage the follicle and then you might not get any more feathers from that. So the only issue I had with her is I was pulling it out and she yanked herself away, which pulled the feather out quickly. But I examined it and the follicle's fine. So, but most of the time they don't yank away from you when you're doing that. But this is the girl that walks on people's heads. So
That's Jazzy.
But,
Oh, you're a brave girl, Jazz.
So, and Parrot Town TV are here, and Erin McGraw is here. So, hello and welcome.
Hello. Yeah, when you get a hemostat, you don't want a big one. You want something. Actually, the one I have is only 6 inches long. So, but it has a V shape on the end, and then there is and I can't do this. I have no way to do two hands here, but it has a piece that goes into the V. So when you snap down on it, it locks onto that feather and it's not going to come off. And then you just slowly pull until it comes out. Dealing with whatever reaction you get, because sometimes 9 times out of 10, they'll start either crying out loud, screaming. What would you call that? Yeah, it's just yelling. Yeah, it isn't even a regular squawk. It kind of sounds, I'm trying to think what it sounds like. Like maybe a bit like a smoke alarm. Kind of like, or maybe like somebody going, ow, something like that. But and then they'll open their beak and lunge a bit. They don't usually bite, but a lunge because it hurts, But you just keep pulling and then you just feel it pop. It'll pop out of the socket and it just automatically seals. They're just built to do that. So then you just examine the site to make sure that the bleeding has indeed stopped, and you usually don't even see any blood there, and that's that. But the other side of it is, if you leave an open blood feather like that, or you try to put like styptic on the broken part of the feather, that's kind of like going out and putting Scotch tape across a broken faucet out. If you got a faucet outside or a hose that's spewing water, you know what's going to happen if you put Scotch tape across it. Nothing, right? That's basically what happens. Sometimes it may look like it's stopped, but there's too much pressure there to your styptic. It's not going to work. You have to get the feather out. So, well, it's tough with Peaches because she had so many malformed follicles. And you'd go to pull a feather out and then it would break off inside, and you literally have to pull those pieces out and then take her to the vet right away to make sure that everything's all cleaned out so that the follicle wouldn't be damaged. But
and was that just from inability to preen herself, or do you think she was born that way?
I think it was from the inability to preen herself, and the follicle just became damaged over time because they weren't being properly cared for. As you see how the way these guys care for themselves.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time preening. Poor old Peach. It was such a cheerful thing when she had so many problems.
I know. Yeah, she took life. She enjoyed every minute she had of life right to the end. So
yes, she did. Can I get a beep, 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 beep in the chat from everyone?
Yeah, Parrot Town TV is sending kisses and love to all the birdies. Looks like Cecil has an eggshell.
Yeah, that's the rattle that goes inside. There's that there's a round ball, and there's a little pellet inside that makes the rattle.
Has a chick of you hatched. Cecilina.
I think if Cecil had a chick and it hatched, I think Bob would just adopt it. He'd be like, I'm the dad now.
Do you want over here? I don't know if I believe you, but I'll try. You want to come over here? You can come over if you want to. Well, you do. That's different. That's different. Well, he'll come over, but not usually when I have 3 birds already on me. So if you're going to get hemostats, the one I use has that fork on the end. I forget what the name is. I'll look it up, but it's a specific type. Do not use needle nose pliers. Don't use anything that you can't lock in place because you could do more damage that way. Once you got it locked, you just have to pull. But if you have to put pressure on it, if you have to grab a hold of it and try to hold it tight and pull, it's too much. You know, you don't want to do that. So you lock it in place. And I don't care how big the bird is, that 6-inch sip that I have does the job perfectly. So, and the problem with longer hemostats is the longer the nose is, the less pressure it puts at the end. So you want a shorter one.
Oh, look at that cute baby Mander there.
Oh. Salamander.
How you doing, big boy? Yeah, he's looking at Cecil like, I'm sitting next to Cecil and he's got a toy.
You didn't think it through, did you, Amanda? You never do you, Amanda?
Bob's a good bird. Bob's being a good boy. Oh, he was just doing everything he could to bug me when I first got in here. trying to get to the upholstery on the chairs, trying to chew on the legs of the chairs. Yeah, and now he's like, I'm just being Bob. Being a good boy. Yeah, it worked. I put a box down there. Less likely you're gonna get spiders and things into there. So I just didn't know if he would take to it, but he is. Trying to get an angle on it. Bob, you're in the way. He goes, no, I'm not.
Oh yeah, well KK looks pretty happy with that.
Yep, looks like it worked.
Oh my, I just had this silly thought, because you were talking about spiders. I had some experiments with X-ray done at the beginning of this week, and there was a spider in the room, and just now I had the thought, oh no, we created Spider-Man. Shit.
We know who to blame.
Yeah.
If you're going to pull a blood feather, the next time you go to the avian vet, if you haven't done it, ask your avian vet how to do it. Any avian vet should explain it to you, because you don't always, at least half the time you won't have time to get to the vet you need. If they're bleeding and you haven't pulled that feather, they don't have that much blood. So ask your avian vet to show you how to do it. It isn't difficult. The only part that you may have a problem with is if the bird decides it wants to bite you. And, some birds might. You just have to tough it out. So.
And if the vet either doesn't know how to do it or refuses to show you, then you should find a different vet, probably.
Yeah. If the vet doesn't know how to do it, you've got a problem vet. We've had good vets. Yeah, I don't know this new vet that well, but the vets we've had, when you ask how to do a procedure, the first time I had to give injections, I said, Doc, Dr. Jenkins, I haven't given intramuscular injections on a cockatoo before. And then he showed me a diagram of where the organs are, the areas you don't want to hit. And you definitely don't want to do injections on your bird unless you've been shown by your vet. And I would record it too. Take your phone and take a recording of what he's doing, because the next time you do it, you never know where your mind will be. Something may distract you. So. And there's cases where you're going to have to do it. Your vet's going to say your bird needs to have injections, like 10 injections or something. Well, most avian vets are not close to you. I mean, you have to drive some distance, so you're going to have to learn to do it at some point. I know if I hadn't agreed to do it, Chloe would have died. She was the first one I had to give injections like that. She got an infection in her liver, and the oral antibiotic wasn't going to do it. So, right, Bob? So I try to get. Hey, you stayed. I'm surprised I stopped petting you and you stayed. Oh, you're gonna let Bob preen you now? Okay.
Well, Bob's a good boy.
Yeah, learn all you can from your avian vets. You know, oh, hey doc, how do you? Yeah. Every time you see him, get one little more thing that you can do, or make a session where you make a list of things that you need to know. How do I stop bleeding? Give me a lesson in first aid. There is a good DVD on first aid. You can get it at birdieboutique.com. Dr. It figures in my brain would go dead. There's a good doctor there. It's an excellent DVD. It's funny too. He'll make you laugh in some cases too, but he treats you like you don't know anything. And when you watch the video, well, I didn't know that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things you don't know. My favorite comment that Dr. Burkett is his name, but my favorite comment, he goes, "Don't bring me a birdie biscuit." He's talking about people who use flour to stop bleeding. Don't do that. Don't use something that attracts bacteria as soon as it gets wet. Stop bleeding. Come on. So, but he says, "Don't bring me a birdie biscuit."
Can bring birdie bread, but not a birdie biscuit.
Yeah, if you're trying to use flour to stop bleeding, it means you aren't prepared, and you want to be prepared. I know we have a video somewhere that lists the basic things you need to have, and then you should check that list out.
There is a first aid video out there.
And check that list with your avian vet to make sure there's nothing that's forgotten. I had somebody locally ask me if I had any extra Silvadine. Because it's a drive. It's only an hour to get to an avian vet from here. It was 2 hours where I was living, but they needed it right now, and they didn't realize that their Silvadine had gone out of date, and they didn't really want, they're only going to use it if they had to, and then they had to go right over to the vet. And I have some Silvadine, so which. You have to get that from your vet. It's a prescription, and it's what you use on a bird if they have a wound on their body. So, now don't get that look, Bob. Be nice. You can preen him. It's okay. Good boy. He just misunderstands. And tell him to put his head.
Yeah.
And Bob gets that look, and he backs up, and the feathers on the back of his neck go up, and I have to kind of let him know that he's misreading a situation.
Yeah, well, GTH wanted to know if Bobbly is upset, and I think he's not upset exactly. He's just confused.
Yeah, he doesn't understand social things. He's like me when I was a kid. I didn't get social at all. I remember I don't really remember it, but somewhere in my script in my head, I was maybe 6 or 7. And they wanted me to be in the Glee Club. I had no idea what that was, but they told me that I would be with a bunch of other kids. Like, no, I don't want any part of that. Well, your son has perfect pitch. He should really be in the Glee Club. I don't know what that is. I don't want a part of it. So
well, you Bob don't have perfect pitch, do you, John?
That's what they told me.
Because I've heard you sing, and I don't think you do.
I'm not trained. I've never taken any singing lessons, if that's what you mean. I can duplicate
that shouldn't matter.
But it does if you don't sing much. And I've never even. Well, I can duplicate. Depending on my hearing now, I can duplicate any sound I hear. Whether I can do it in sequence is another matter. Like I say, I've not been trained, so. I used to have a program that I was just testing out that actually shows you can like sing a note, and it will show you exactly where you are. And I could replicate a single sound without a problem, but I'm a little bit old to start learning to sing now. Right, Bob?
Well, you're good enough for Romeo.
Right, yeah, Romeo doesn't care if I'm a little off. I'll tell you though, when you have that kind of hearing and you hear somebody who's singing off, it's enough to drive you right up the wall. And just being slightly off, just hearing that one, because you know that's how it sounds to you if I try to sing it.
I think one person that everyone in the world should hear is Florence Foster Jenkins. She released a wonderful album called The Glory of the Human Voice. And once you've heard that, your life will never be the same again. I would recommend it to everyone.
Man,
I'm trying.
Of
course, with me, I'm trying to decide whether she actually is, because it's the worst thing you've ever heard. Or it's the best thing you've ever heard.
Well, because it's just so. I don't even know how to describe it, but you have to hear it to believe it.
I'll have to listen to that.
A GTH wants to know if Manda's beak is large enough to intimidate Babaloo, but I don't think so.
It doesn't have to be terribly large to intimidate Babaloo. It just has to show some confidence. Which I'm sorry, I'm falling in the. Hi, Lucy, look, give it up. Here. It's all right. I know. She got all confused. I was falling in the chair. I don't want to be lying on my back in the chair. Kid, come here. All right. You don't have to be like that with him just because I'm moving. You okay? No, don't start vibrating now. No, Bob's just a big chicken. He's the kind of bird that he'll make it look like he's going to come after you, and if you don't show any fear, he just doesn't do anything. And if you make a motion towards him, knew I was going to do it. I'll catch him sometimes when he's just kind of wandering around. I'll make a loud sound and jump out of his skin. That's just the way he is. The rest of the birds are like, oh well, Don made a loud sound. Him, no, right out of his skin.
We have a question from Desperze, who wants to know if their bite's hurt.
It kind of depends on the bite. Yeah, if you have a bird that's actually biting you because it's afraid, or you've invaded its territory, it can, they can definitely hurt. They've got more power in their beak than a pit bull does. Actually, a pit bull's bite is kind of a joke compared to a parrot bite. But now normally when they bite, they don't bite that hard.
It's more of a protest bite than a actual I want to hurt you bite.
Yeah, it depends on the circumstances. If they misunderstand what you're doing, if I come up behind Cecil, for example, and I like grab him by the back of the neck like this, that's not hurting him, just grabbing him by the back of the neck, but he doesn't know I'm going to be there, he'll spin around and start to bite because he doesn't know what it was. And believe me, you really have to sneak because these guys have incredible vision, 270-degree vision, from side to side, and almost 90 up and 90 down. It's amazing. But if you do sneak behind them and you get them and they're not aware of you, they'll turn around to bite you. So he won't generally even break the skin at that point. He'll catch onto what's happening quickly. But some birds might not. And I don't worry about the pain. That's not an issue. I rarely ever get bit where it hurts. But I've been doing this for a while, so I'm more aware of what's going on. If I'm going to get bit in this crew, it's Romeo, and I take him to do his nails and his beak because he gets so afraid. He's just afraid of being taken out of his cage. So that's when I'm going to get a bite that hurts a little bit. But I'm more concerned with him being afraid. Go ahead.
Well, this is a good question. So Dispose says, I never got bit by a parrot, I'm just scared to be bitten. And then I said, unfortunately, they can tell when you're scared. And he says, so I should not show fear. So how do you handle your fear of being bitten?
You can't hide your fear because they can see your capillary response. They see into the ultraviolet and the fluorescent. So if you're afraid, you are blushing a color that they can see. So yeah, it's almost impossible. The issue is to overcome it. Like in the movie Fight Club, you don't want to die without any scars. So what you try to do is when you approach the bird, you want them to bite an area where the pain is not going to be as bad. So you can pick the back of your arm, for example, or even this area of your hand. Don't put your index finger out there where you have a ton of nerves. I've been bitten on the fingers and I'm not concerned about it, but I don't present them for bites. If I think a bird's going to bite, I give it my arm, and I avoid the areas where you might have, like the back of your hand, where you have blood that can come, arterial or venous blood. And if you get, another thing to think about is if you get bitten by a cat or a dog, they have these nasty germs in their mouth and your chances of infection are really high. Now, these guys have basically dry mouths and they don't have much in the way of any kind of anything they can inject into you that's going to cause you, severe sickness. So the best thing you can do is learn to deal with pain. One way to do that is like go to the gym and work out really hard to the point where, with a trainer, of course, you don't want to overdo yourself, but work out to the point where you got that one more push and it really hurts, and you get past the pain there. I used to work out. You can't tell by looking at me now, but I used to be a bodybuilder, and you overcome pain that way. Pain doesn't bother you that much. So that's one way.
And taking a cold shower in the morning.
Yeah, that'll do it. Step right
But
into
I
a
think
cold shower.
mental preparation is probably the best training to just, know that there is the possibility there that the bird might bite one day, and that then it will probably hurt very much. But on the other side, just knowing it's not the bird's fault, and kind of train yourself that when it happens that the bird doesn't do it because the bird is mean. It's more like the bird is scared, or probably you crossed a border the bird don't like. So I think this is also important, to overthink that.
Yeah, that's the real thing, isn't it? To avoid being bitten, you want to work on communication and make sure that you have trust with each other and you understand each other's signals. That's what's going to protect you most.
Because when you think about how less the birds weight, even by their size, or so they are between 500 grams and maybe 1 kilogram. Men are maybe a little bit over it, but usually they are just super lightweighted and tiny, and whenever you push them or give them a beat or so, it can end pretty bad. So, and that's certainly not what anyone wants.
And realizing too that they don't take what we call punishment. In ABA it means something else, but you cannot punish a bird. You cannot the worst kind of punishment you can give a bird is time out. Put it in a cage where it doesn't have any toys for 2 minutes, put it on a perch it doesn't want to sit on. If you try hitting a bird, you're asking for trouble, and you don't want to do it because they're so small and frail anyway. It wouldn't make any sense, but so you
and one loses the trust of them completely if one does.
Yep, that's right. Well, you can lose it other ways. I mean, look at Romeo. I gave him, I had medicine that we were going to try to deal with his fear, and he didn't like the flavor of it. And I'm still dealing with that issue. He doesn't like to come out of the cage because he's afraid I'm going to give him alprazolam, you know? So, and I could have avoided that if I'd actually tasted it before I gave him. Yeah, now I won't give them any kind of medicine until I've actually put a little bit in my mouth to see how it tastes. But obviously that's not true of injection. But if it's an oral medicine, I make sure that it's not going to taste terrible. If it tastes terrible, then I'm going to tilt the head back, get the syringe down. Like Benadryl is a good example. There was some vet I read online who was saying, "Oh, you'll never be able to give a cockatoo Benadryl because it tastes so terrible." Yeah, well, that's a good clue. I tasted it. Yeah, it does taste terrible. So I just you have to get that syringe down. And that's another thing. You don't want to put a syringe too far down there either. You can damage something. So you have to be pretty sure that when you're holding that beak open, it's not going to try to take your hand off. I don't have a bird here that will do that, except maybe Roman would get scared enough too. But,
oh yeah, speaking of medicine, how's Sugar? Sorry, I just completely interrupted your flow, but I was wondering if Sugar's been taking her medicine okay.
Yeah, well, it's sort of halfway between force and an agreement now. She'll let me force her to take it. And what I mean by that is I'm not forcing her as much as I used to, but I'm getting her head in a locked position back. I'm getting that syringe about halfway down where I'm I know if I went another inch down, it would be dangerous. I get it as far down as I can and get it down her throat, get peanut butter in her head or in her beak, and then hold her like that until she starts eating the peanut butter, because she can dump it out of her. She finds ways to get it out of her throat. So it's better, but it's still a push twice a day. But it's one of those situations. She doesn't get her medicine, she's going to die. So, and I know a lot of people are nervous about doing this kind of thing. But if you have to, you have to. I mean, it's a matter of life and death. And it really is a problem with our school system because they don't teach you basic first aid.
It's KK back there. Oh my, that was funny seeing him run.
Oh yeah, that's why he did it, because KK was climbing up.
Sending signals.
He's not going after you. I don't think he has any interest in you anymore. That was when he first got here. Yeah, sure. I believe that. But we don't learn any. Go ahead.
You can't blame KK because he'd never seen a pink bird before.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he has. No. But if we should be trained in first aid, I kind of was, because my parents had me fix all they had something wrong. I was the one who bandaged it or cleaned it up, put the betadine solution on it, then put the antibiotic cream, and then put either depending on the size of it, whether you put gauze or you put a Band-Aid on it. I did all that when I was a kid, so I was kind of used to that. So when I started working with birds, I started dealing with how to bandage people and how to bandage or how to fix wounds on birds and that kind of. Now, when I say fix, you still want to take them to the vet because they can get infections if they get a wound somewhere. It can get right into their venous system and it could give them an infection. What are you doing? What was that? What was that, little boy? He was taking his beak and running it up and down my arm. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hi, Cecil. Nice Cecil. Mm. Yeah, they've got they're terribly thin skinned. In some places, there's only 3 cells between their skin and the inner portion of their body, and there's only 3 layers in any case anywhere. So that's why you can't put lotions and that kind of thing on them if it isn't approved by your vet to put on them. I don't care how many people on the internet say, "Well, I just put this on my bird." I could think of some great retorts to those kind of comments, but I just tell people, don't advise people on things that veterinarians don't approve. So
All they need is clean water.
Yep. Yeah, if they've got a wound, and like with birds that get feather destructive behavior that become mutilators, Silvadine works, and then you put something over it to keep them away from it, and then get your vet to prescribe some Haldol to keep them from doing it. But yeah, don't always check with your avian vet before you do anything, especially what you hear on the internet. People will tell you, "Oh, give them vinegar in their water." Well, I don't know where that even works for humans, so why would it work for birds? And their digestive system is different than ours. What am I trying to get your face in there? You're moving your head. Cecil bird.
You're a very handsome boy, Cecil. Posing for the camera today.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a quiet boy today, aren't you?
Quiet and thoughtful. Oh my.
Mm.
Another side of Cecil.
Hey, Cecil. What happened to your toy? Oh, there it is. You have a couple of new ones out there. I hear someone else is sending them to you too. What I hear, they like Cecil and his toys. See what you could do if you had 27 vertebrae in your neck? You can barely even get an angle on him where you can see his head. I can see it from over here, but I don't know if I can get an angle on that.
Cecil.
Such a good bird.
By the way, what is Bobaloot Bob doing?
He is playing next to me. What are you doing, Bob?
Oh, that's good. I thought hopefully that he haven't sneaked under the chair while you were busy doing other stuff. And now the chair has only 3 legs left.
He's digging.
He's doing his nesting routine. That's a good boy, Bob. Bob's a good boy. Bob's a good bird.
I suppose another way to overcome the fear of a bite would be to, find Tyler Durden and have him do his light treatment to your hand. If you've seen the movie Fight Club, you have to overcome the fear. That's another thing that we have, especially in the United States, where somebody causes some small irritation, and that's why we have such a high divorce rate. They can't. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. This is why I'm not a cook on a regular basis. I cook for these guys, but I wouldn't want to work in a restaurant because you're in the heat the whole time. I don't mind heat, but I mean hot, steamy cooking kind of heat. Yeah. And if you get 99% pleasure from a bird, or even 95, and you're willing to give it up because you got a bite, then that's a psychological problem that needs to be overcome. Bob helped me with that. He was great. He was being chased by Lorelei early on when he hadn't been with us very long, and he hadn't grown his feathers back in. They were trimming his feathers, which we don't do. And so he tried to fly up after her. She did not have trimmed feathers, and he couldn't do it. So he landed on my back. And he dug into my shirt, which also was into my back at the same time. I had no easy way to get him off my back, so I just overcame the fact that I was in pain, and it really hasn't bothered me much since. Oh, I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt at the time, but it doesn't have any lasting psychological effect. I know that they don't do it out of any meanness of spirit. It's their own misunderstandings that cause it, right, Bob?
I think what we have to
Oh.
remember as well is when you think of what humans do to animals, like it's no wonder that they want to bite us sometimes.
Yeah. It's if you're looking at something like dogs, they're the descendants of wolves, so that biting is a natural thing for them. Like they're predators. These guys aren't predators. You really want to come over? I don't believe you. You never want to come over when he acts like he does, but as soon as you put your hand over, no, there's too many birds on your lap. What do you want me to do? Throw some birds off? Probably. You can come over if you want to. You can come over. Come on. Bob, be nice to him. Be nice to him. Mander, it's all right. Cecil isn't going to hurt you. Mander. There he goes, back over. And you're laughing about it, Bob. That figures.
He's like, Salamander is a big coward, not like me, the brave Bobber.
He thinks he's brave, but he is not. Boo! No, he just looked at me. I got him good yesterday, though. He was walking out on that canvas I have out there, and he was reaching down for a toy, and I went, boo, and he jumped up about an inch off the floor. And then he looks at me, and I laugh at him, so. And he comes over and snuggles me. He's not upset about it. But he did jump right off the floor. You big silly bird. I'll tease him like that, and he's okay with it, but I don't tease Salamander. He doesn't like to be scared, so he's afraid so much of the time that he's not thinking about you. He's over there playing with the cage door. He's afraid of that one, and that one's not even. He's over there. He was playing with the cage door. Now he's scratching his neck. A big scary KK bird. Hi, KK.
KK.
Hi, KK. And as I was told about him, oh, you got to watch out. He bites. Yeah, well, I'll let you know when it happens. Guess it hasn't happened yet. I've had the artificial lunges, all the things that other people turn into bites, but I haven't had him actually bite me. It's not going to do anything, and he kind of knows that. I think it's just observation, and he can tell I'm not afraid of him. More than that, though, I mean, he knows that I care about him, and it's just because whenever I reach over, whenever I'm in his cage, all of his food bowls are in his cage. Most of the birds here, when I change their food, I've got to reach in their cages. So I reach in there, I get his food, and he'll come walking over with his beak open. I just keep doing what I'm doing. He's not, and he doesn't bite, but most people will see that and they'll jerk their hand out. Well, then you're giving the bird a cue. Like, oh, well, if I open my beak, then he'll run away. And thus begins the dance that eventually turns to a bite.
Don, Lisa would like to know if next Monday there is a holiday, will there be a live stream?
Yeah. How do you guys feel? It's not a holiday for you guys, right?
It's a holiday for me, but it's not like Christmas Eve or something like that. So I will be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have it. To me, every day is the same. I'm kind of fond of new moons and full moons, but I mean, it doesn't really affect our having a meeting. What are you doing up there, big boy?
So
When are you gonna
Ellen
start
and
making-
I talked today about giving Mander some kind of role model or peer, male Moluccan cockatoo, and we thought about showing him videos of Mr. Max TV.
Yeah, it might be nice for Manda to have a male role model who is the same species as him.
Yeah, maybe someday he'll have one here. It's hard to say.
The problem is Mander so far has only known Moluccan aunties, so not sure if he's aware there are other boys.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how he would react.
He might be very confused and think that all Moluccans are female except for him, and he wonders why he's different.
Mander, Bob, get off my arm. Here. Lucy,
Or
let me
he
move.
thinks he is some kind of wrong female Moluccan and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, you said that. Okay, I thought he is interpreted he's the only male and all the ladies are for him and no one likes him. So.
No, well, I meant that he thought that he's supposed to be a girl and doesn't know why he isn't, but it's the same thing, really.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, with these birds, when they're not properly socialized, I mean, who knows what they think? It could be something like that, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm. So I think Parrot and TV has also a male Moluccan. I think their Peachy is a boy, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Cecil, stop.
So you might find some peer videos he can watch.
Yeah. There's
so
also
he knows they are not only aunties.
Yeah. And there's also Barney, the West Coast cockatoo, who's a nice male Moluccan as well. So you could try him as well. And we never heard whether there was any update on Pebble.
Get over here. Get out of here.
Oh, Pebble, yeah. I
Because
think
I
she's a
remember
girl, right?
Yeah,
Or-
because everyone thought she was a girl, and then in one video, Kelly just randomly said, "Oh, I think she might be a boy, actually," and we were just like, "What?"
Hey.
But there's never been any update to that.
Hey, leave him alone.
Oh, that's actually a good idea. GTH said, I wonder if a treat can be dispensed with a syringe. I think that's actually could be done when you take the time to use ABA to kind of get the bird to associate with all these medical stuff actually with something good.
Although I think if you tried to do that for Romeo, it might just completely break him mentally.
Yeah.
Poor darling. He's a sensitive boy.
High sensitive boy.
Well, I meant Romeo, but Manda also. Oh yeah, Pebble would toughen Manda up.
Oh yeah. Telling him something about Volkswagen.
Yeah. She could give him a pep talk. What is it? Fricking buttholes or something. Can't repeat what she actually says.
I don't know. I just would like to give Manda some more confidence, not only in situations when he sees a can of beer or something like that. So I just told GTH in chat that Manda will anyone attack who is holding a can of beer.
And anyone wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, especially when you wear the hoodie on the head. So. Manda.
Yeah, he gives up the peaceful Gandhi kind of atmosphere the second you get a beer in your hand or a red hat on your head or a hoodie. Or if you just happen to walk up and backwards, he doesn't like tail ends. So human or parrot, doesn't matter. He'll pull your tail feathers, that's for sure. Won't you?
Yeah, salamander would vote for prohibition and against booty shots.
Did you want back over here, Lucy? No? You haven't made up your mind yet?
The loose goose. Such a cutie. Lucy, too much drama on Don's lap.
You're slow to make up her mind. Aren't you, girl? Cecil, what are you doing? KK. KK boy.
Oh, it's in the middle of that KK. Let's see.
That's KK. Hi, KK.
And is Jazzy chestbird still up there?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
she's
she
not
likes
in
it.
the cage today.
Nope.
She realizes that KK isn't going to bother her now, I think.
Mhm.
Cecil, what are you doing?
Maybe he's visiting his friend or Shuggy. But that's the wrong bird.
Cecil, I'm not sure how long that perch is going to. If you mess with it, you're going to break the perch. It's already broken.
But what the heck is Shuggy doing? Oh, yeah, leaning over.
Bravo!
Oh, my Shuggy.
No. I'll put my foot in front of him because he's starting to go after salamanders. He can't trust him around these birds. You are not supposed to behave like that. No. Okay, you want to go timeout? Come on. Come here. We'll get you in the timeout. Get in here. Go on. Hi, sweetheart. What's not characteristic is that Mander did not go after the nearest exit. When
Wait,
Bob
I just
jumped at
thought
him,
I saw one Molakken on the floor, but no, that was
Yeah.
Manda sitting on on your chair.
It was the ghost of Peaches.
Might be.
Hey, baby, how you doing? Yeah, it was okay. I got him away fast enough. Yeah, he lunged at him, and I was able to get Bob off and onto the floor before Mander took off. Usually he'll just run away. Won't you, baby boy? You did better that time. You did better. Yeah. Yep. You did better. Bob, it takes about 2 minutes for Bob to wind down, although I think the way he's acting now, he's probably going to be in there for 5. I don't like to put him in there for longer, but he's trying to chew a piece off the cage, so he's still kind of aggressive. He's trying to take that Lixit attachment to the cage off. Bob?
Oh,
what
my
are you doing?
Shuggy. She's getting longer and longer.
Oh, Cecil's such a gentleman, preening ladies whenever they ask.
He's a
So
good
good boy.
bird.
Pretty bird? Pretty bird.
Oh, is Lizzie a pretty bird?
Yeah, she wanted to come over, so she said, "Pretty bird, pretty bird."
Has she
Pretty
got some popcorn lately?
Yeah, she's had a little popcorn.
Oh. With your really cool popcorn maker.
Oh, what, Bob? Now he's starting to be unhappy about being in the cage. He's going to go to the other side and try to take the other Lixit hand off. I've been thinking about trying to find some of these Lixit bottles that you can put up where they can have water all day, but you've got to clean them every day. I'm thinking about that. Some of the rescues are doing it. It assures that they don't have a bunch of dust in their water, which is the problem. We have so much cockatoo dust in this place. After about 2 hours, you look at their water and it looks like it's about half dust. So
What
you
you
can change
need
it.
is 12 tiny little pipes with tiny little taps on the end, so they can just open the faucet whenever they want water. That would be perfect.
The fountains would actually be perfect. That's what I'd love to have fountains in their cages. But
Yeah, that would certainly be fun.
Lixit has
Some kind of circulating water system at the end where you just clean it with UV light and other stuff, so no bacteria in it, and then yeah, they just can have fun with it.
I just don't like the dust in their water. So the wholesaler has $7 a piece, 16-ounce bottles, Lixit bottles. The thing is, how do I attach them so that birds don't destroy them? That's the part. I don't have to worry about Lucy. Once I teach her how to use it, she won't do it. And Sugar isn't going to destroy it. Cecil will. Bob will. I understand that KK already knows how to use the Lixit bottle. So I think I may order 12 of them and see if I can make them work.
KK can open a bottle.
No, you don't. You probably don't know what a Lixit bottle is. It's a tube that has a ball at the end of the tube, and then there's a glass bottle above it, and you put the water in there, and when you tap the little ball, water comes out.
So what you put in a guinea pig cage or something.
The pet thing, what you put in guinea pigs and others. Understand.
Because that way, as long as you change them every day, they have clean water. So yeah, that's about $100 to do it with. Then I've got to figure out how to get them on there so that these guys don't destroy them. And that's probably only three birds I really have to worry about. KK shouldn't be a problem. I think actually it's just Bob and Cecil. It might be there will be a problem on that.
I think if we just could get in there some kind of rainforest shower, and put a perch under it, so I think at least Pippa and some other birds would enjoy.
I'm sure they would all enjoy having something like that, but.
Oh, well, Lisa has to go, so nice to see you, Lisa.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Lisa. What are you doing, Cecil?
Maybe with the bottles, if you give it to the flock in batches, so you give some of them, the ones that definitely won't wreck it, give them first, and then let the others see them not wrecking it. Maybe that might give them the idea to, that the bottles are fun and they give you fresh water and they're not for chewing.
Yeah, they have the more expensive variety. I don't know what the retail price is. The retail price on them is close to $50, but I think the wholesale price is like 27, I think. They have a metal frame that they sit on, and if I build more of a frame around it, that might work for Bob and Cecil. The rest of them, the smaller $7 bottles, will probably work. But you never know, but I think I'm going to try it out. Well, thanks, guys, for being here and listening to me yell at Cecil when he was playing with the curtains. I think he's learning from someone else better known as KK.
Partners in crime.
Don't forget the Bob in the cage.
No, I won't. I'm going to take him out as soon as we get offline here. Right now, I don't want it because I have to. It's going to take me 5 minutes to get him kind of back into the group because he's in a mood today. But I'll do that right after we sign off. So thanks, guys, for being here. And you say thank you and you beautiful eyes.
Well, thank you for the stream, Don.
Thanks, Eleanor and Amy, for moderating. And we will see you next time, folks.